Hey guys, it's Ed from East West Bushcraft, and we're out here tonight doing a solo camp, and I thought I'd bring you guys along with me. So I'm planning to get to the spot where I want to set up camp soon, because it's going to get dark very soon. Probably got about 3 hours left or 4 hours left of daylight, so I've got a lot to get done in this time, and also a bit of foraging on the way. So I thought I'd bring you along and show you what I'm getting up to. So we're going to be heading to the woods by a little stream, and we're going to set up a tarp and a camp for the night, create ourselves a fire, get a stew on the go, and on my way to the camp I'm going to see what I can forage on the way. I'm hoping for some fruits, not these hawthorns, and we'll make a fruit tea on the way. We'll make a fruit tea when we get there, and got the fire going, and hopefully get some other bushcraft going on as well. So yeah, hope you enjoy. I like to do a lot of bushcraft foraging, things like this on the move, hence why I have my dump pouches on the side of my backpack. And look at those ones, they're nice, massive those ones. As I was saying, I've got the dump pouches on the side of my bag. I've only got that one open at the moment, the other one's closed. I made those myself and I've used them for years now. What I do is I like to put them on the bag as I'm walking. If I find things like fruit and stuff I want, or even tinder, I can dump them in there. And the reason why I put them on my bag and not my belt is because right now I have like things on, and I might go for a long hike, so I don't want to wear these like pouches and stuff on my belt while I'm walking. It's an extra thing to rub and get your t-shirt uncomfortable and all this stuff like that, whereas my bag, it's just hanging there and it doesn't bother me. I'm not going to use it for a while. I'm going to get to camp and use it, so it's just a dump pouch from my bag, and I can always put my bag down and access it if I need to. Obviously if I had a camp and I wanted to put these on my belt, I can. They're literally belt loop friendly. I've just got a bit of webbing going for it. It's a security backpack. Slippery this. All these laying down they could be someone trying to do some hedge laying on the outside of it, to create a thicker wall, to help create this path, maybe. I don't know what they're doing, but there's a lot of good blackthorn there. If you wanted to make walking sticks, there's some good poles in there that you could pinch. So we've made it to my campsite. As you can see, it's nice and open here. Some big old trees next to a nice little river. Sort of idyllic, kind of like it. Wanted to come here. There is a lot of wind coming through that way, so I need to bear that in mind. And put my shelter somewhere here, going down to there. So this is like the back, and I'll have the fire somewhere around here. Someone's had a fire with that, look at that. They've flipped it, haven't they, so to pull it out. It's a bit damp, that is. Ooh. Mushrooms. If anyone knows what mushrooms they are, please comment below. Be interesting to know. God, there's little ones there. And those ones. This branch here, that's dead, and I'm concerned about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that branch off, and that'll give me a load of good dry firewood as well. Hopefully dry, hopefully it's not rotten all the way through. Fairly easy, some nice wood there. Taking that branch off, it's laying down here on the floor, and I'll move it over there in a bit so we can process it for firewood tonight. That should be more than enough for us. And yeah, so now I'm going to get the tarp up. So I've created my 3 pegs, so I can go peg down my tarp now. So that's the shelter set up, quite warm now from doing all that. So in the night I will untie up there, I'll pull that loose, and then that tie on point, wherever I've pegged it down there, I actually just attach that to that, and it closes up for the night. So time's getting on, the sun's going to go down, I need to get a fire going. Just collecting some small twigs from this young hawthorn. It has a dead branch on it, so there's lots of little bits on it which are great for getting the fire going. So I'm going to collect up some more of these, and then we'll use some of our fat wood in the fire kit to get the fire going. camp is set up for the night. I can help myself to a beer, and I'm going to start putting on a beef stew on. So I'm going to chop up some carrots, potatoes, get the beef sizzled, and yeah, put a stew on for the next couple of hours. So I'm going to enjoy myself a beer and get that prepared. Let's get those roots. Just slice them up so they seems like there's a bit more in the stew. Chop these up a bit like celery, but minuscule. So the camp is set up, and now I'm just chilling. The fire's going, and I can already hear it bubbling, so I've raised it a bit, and the potatoes feel half done, so it's well on the way. I'll give it another hour and a half, and then I'll probably serve up some dinner. It is 5 to 6 right now, and it's been dark for about 2 hours. So I bought myself a new plate because I don't usually have a plate. I usually have my cup that goes on the outside of my canteen, and that's what I've used for years, and I just kind of thought, oh, I want to eat some different foods and I want to be able to eat it kind of properly. So I bought myself a plate. It's not the most bushcrafty plate. You saw it earlier, I was cutting up on it, probably blunt my knife, but yeah, I mean, it costs a couple of quid, so I can upgrade it. Got my Exotherm sleeping mat. I've had this for a long time. I've got my wool blanket with me. Didn't need to bring it. It's not too cold out, but I've got it in case I wanted to use it as a pillow. Sleeping bag inside of this bivvy. This is one of them Gore-Tex ex-army bivvies. Very big, very spacious. Lots of room to stick extra bits and bobs in. Although it is top entry, it's a little bit annoying. That's going to be a modification one day. I've got lots of various smaller knives, so this is like a little UK legal carry one. You saw me earlier digging up some roots of it. Kind of use it as a bit of a utility knife in that sense. It has cut, when I first had it, it was the steak knife, but now it's just a utility knife because I don't mind, it's just cheap. It's a cheap knife and it's cheap steel, so it becomes one of those ones like, as you saw, I will dig in the earth of it. And that's my scales. I've done those scales. You would. Yeah, and this knife uses time. It's got the sheath. As you see, I'm not a big fan of that belt loop because when you put your belt through there, this now sits higher, and should you have a bit of you sticking over the edge of your trousers, that pokes into you and it's just a bit uncomfortable. If you can side bend into it, you can feel it rubbing. It's not great because there's no relief there. So if you put your belt through there, you can see that bit there is just going to start rubbing you. It's not nice. And then when you sit down and it needs to bend, it doesn't move. So you then get this twist in your, yes, it's just not great. So what you'll see, what I do a lot is I actually just put this in my pocket, and it hides in the whole depth of my pocket. And it's fully concealed in that suppose, so it's just kind of comfortable in there, safe in there. Ooh, a little ladybird. Go away. The stew is technically done now. It's been 3 hours. I'm just going to leave it on for another half an hour or so. It's simmering away, I can hear it. And it just, honestly, it smells so good. Look at that. Well, I'm going to sit here and enjoy this, and I'll catch up with you in a second. Don't know what creature, but there's a creature there. Some animal. I'm trying to find out. I'm standing very still. It's either swimming or I think it's here next to me. Well, I don't know what that sound was. I could see movement in the water because the water is like glass at the moment. Because these are locks, so the rivers do actually go quite still. It was a lot of like sniffing and splashing and stuff like this. It sounded like a big animal. However, I saw something swim past me. I could see it in the silhouette. I couldn't get on camera. The water just like looks like black liquid and everything looks black, yeah, because it's so dark. But I could see the ripples of something swimming. It didn't look that big, to be honest. So my theories are that I haven't seen them around here before, but I know a few miles up the river there's a sign for them, and I think it could have been a lone otter. So I suspect it was an otter. I will never know though. Unless one of you can recognise the sound, then please let me know in the comments. So I've just been watching the fire burn down and relaxing. But I'll watch it for a bit more and then I'm gonna hit the hay and I'll catch you guys in the morning. You can't hear that, but there's very fine rain landing. Good morning. It's 6:30 in the morning, and as you might hear, it's raining. It's been raining for a few hours. I like the sound of the rain on the top, so it's not been a problem. I'm nice and toasty. At the beginning of the night, I had to take the sleep mat out of the bivvy. That was kind of awkward. I had to shimmy around in here, but I had to take it out because it was too hot. So I'm actually in my bivvy with the sleeping bag, laying on the roll mat, and it's given me loads more room inside the bivvy, and that's been very comfortable. I've got a little thermostat here, thermometer, and it's 25 degrees inside my sleeping bag, and I think the air temperature outside is around 10. So yeah, I'm significantly warmer in here. It's not daylight for another couple of hours, so I will just slowly get ready, slowly get up, and we need to collect some water because I need to have a tea and I've run out of water. So we'll do that when it gets a bit more daylight. I know it's raining, but I've got the stream next to me and a water filtration set, so we'll use that and get a brew on. It's daylight now, and as you've seen, I've gone and collected some water, held it out of the stream, and poured it into my soil filtration system. You may be wondering, why did I pail with a can when that's a bucket? Well, I didn't want to get the river water on the outside of the bag in case it would drip into my other container. This is doing a wonderful job. It's nice and clear now. That's lovely and fresh. What I'm going to do with it is I'm going to make that tea. Yesterday on the way here, I collected some berries, sloes and some rosehips. I've never made tea with sloes before, so I don't know how this is going to go. Hopefully not too bad. I've made sloe gin before, and that's really nice. And I've also tried eating them on their own, and they're really astringent and not very nice. So hopefully boiling them, simmering them in a canteen might render something nice. Also, I've got some rosehips with it, so we'll see what happens. So I thought it'd be a fun little experiment, and if it works, I'll get a nice little fruit tea in the morning. In the previous video, I've done some rosehip tea. That's another way you can get out. So this one was super ripe, perfect condition type thing, and yeah, I can squeeze the insides out. All the insides are gone now. Otherwise, just scratching up that surface to expose it. Then I don't have to take the hairs out. That first one was just super ideal, just to squeeze all the insides out, and that'll probably do most of the work, to be honest. One here, take off any unwanted bits. I could get rid of that, I suppose. You don't want it to cut too much, because you can start exposing the seeds. You can try and avoid them. There. Bring it to a gentle boil, hold it for a bit, and then let it sit in some heat. Said I'll show you in the morning my dump pouch. This is my worst one because it's the first one I made, and the leather work is just terrible. I'll show you the other one, but yeah, it's even drawstring, so it's pretty cool. It's probably the most used one because it's easy to pack away. Whereas the other one that I have to do like quite a tight fold. The other one will look like typically what you guys have probably seen other people make. Whereas this one, I can just kind of easily fold it. I created this loop here to put it through, and that's a fox's tooth. And it's just like that. It's very not tidy, but it works. That's the other one. Just like you would typically see on others. It unravels so. Doesn't have a drawstring? No. As you see, there's a few more folds and it's to be a lot tighter. So, and it's got, I put two buttons on it, so yeah, looks nicer, but I kind of prefer the other one. Yeah. It has gone purple. Steep a bit longer, hopefully get a few more flavours out of it and everything else. Yeah, just been making some tent pegs while I've been waiting for the brew to steep. So I've got a couple of these already that I made yesterday for the tarp. My 3 or 4, got 4 I think, so that makes 6 now. Yeah, and I'll keep them, I'll dry them out at home and probably sand them down a bit just to make them a bit neater, and oil them up and probably use them in the future. So this is the shelter all opened up. As you can see, the wind's getting in there. Got a bit of condensation in there. I believe that was from the ground rather than me, because when I sealed it up and went to bed, I did notice the walls were slightly damp, so I think that was just happening anyways. It was a cold surface and the ground's wet, so yeah. But I'll show you what it looks like from the outside when I close it up and how it keeps all the wind out and it's really comfortable. My knots properly. I'll take this out over here. It shouldn't be there, but I'll move this quickly. This tie out is the one that's pegged, as you saw yesterday, and then that would tuck underneath, creating a bit of tarp floor on the inside, and then this would peg down like that onto the same peg. And as you can see, it's like a big tent. It's got all the angles to keep the rain off. And I've got it pinned down, pegged down there, there and there, and at the front, held up from suspension at the top. Obviously you've got tie-ups here that you could also pull that up to create some more space, as well as create like your bungees to the side to help with like the stormy weather, and yeah, keeps all the rain off. I really like this, and obviously when you're ready to wake up in the morning, you can obviously look out, put that space in there, and space at the back to put all your dry stuff on the floor. Then you'd obviously undo this, and then you would pull this side out and you can peg it down there, and you'd have all that open space, and you could obviously undo the other side and pin it up in the tree or whatever and peg down the other side, and it would just be a big lean-to shelter. Let's take a look at that tea, see how it's getting on. I mean, it's looking fruity. Let's give it a go. I will admit it doesn't taste so much. It's quite warm, quite a lot of steam, and it's in a metal can, so I get hints of fruit, but yeah, it's not disgusting, so it's good. I'm just going to enjoy my hot water fruit tea for a bit longer and enjoy the peace around here, and then I suppose we'll look into packing up. And that's it from me, guys. That's a bushcraft solo night done. We've done a cooking tripod, not a bushcraft as I'd like. I had to use a little system because it got quite dark. I did want to create my own lashings. We'll save that for another time. Done some tent pegs and cooking, a nice beef stew, some foraging. It's very bushcrafty. Identifying plants and so we can eat them. It was a good night out, and we got to try some fruit tea in the morning, which wasn't the best. Maybe next time I could like really pack it with berries to really go for that flavour, but I'm not sure if it's there. But we can give it another go. So yeah, I'm going to get out of here and get myself home. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. One last thing, I'm going to be buying my tickets for the Bushcraft show in 2026, and I thought I'd let you guys know. And if you are going as well, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.